Welcome to R&DW Adventures. I'm Darryl.
And I'm Renee.
And today's adventure brings us to Washington, Michigan, where we're going to try some cider and hopefully some donuts.
It's my favorite time of year.
A very sugary time of year for sure.
The cider mill season.
Yeah, it is cider mill season. By cider, we are not talking about the hard cider. We're talking about just the regular
pure pressed
apple
apples.
cider. Yeah, the pressed apple cider before it's fermented. So this is not the adult cider. This is your
family
standard
version.
Right. And it's our typical fall drink here in the Midwest. So our first stop is here at
Verellen Orchards.
Right, and we're going to try some cider and donuts if we can get it. But come along and try those with us. So we've got our cider and our cinnamon donut. You want to give the cinnamon donut its first bite?
First. It's got something in it that I can't quite place. It would probably be better hot, but it's got something in it that I can't quite place. It's good.
Yeah, it's not as cold.
No.
But it's not as fresh as I usually like my cider donuts.
Yeah.
I think I'm only going to give that a 2.
Me also. I don't love it.
And then we've got our cider, which fortunately they come in tiny containers, pints, quarts, that kind of stuff, so it's great for this kind of thing. That is pretty good.
That is actually really good.
I'm going to give this a 4.
I'm giving it a 4 also. I kind of wish, I'm actually pleasantly surprised because I walked in there hoping to find hot cider because it's actually a really cold fall morning.
This is going to go away.
Yeah, no, we don't need to keep that. But one thing I did get that I know you don't want to try, just because one of the things I love about going to cider mills, especially when they're on a farm or something like that, they always have something kooky. And they had fresh honey, Michigan-made honey, and all kinds of salsas and jams and stuff like that. I don't think I've ever tried apple salsa. And it sounds interesting to me. I know it does not sound interesting to you.
Yeah, because I've tried it.
Oh, you have? I've never tried it. It smells good. Okay, we're not on the same page today, but I'm going to try it anyway.
To me, it smells like apple cider vinegar.
To me, it tastes like spicy applesauce. It's kind of weird.
All right. So on
I'm
to the next
still giving
one.
it a 3.
All right, on to our next one. So our next stop on today's tour is going to be the Westview Orchards, where they have a lot more than just a cider mill. There's a whole fun area. There's
A winery.
a winery. There's the cider mill. There's
bakery.
a kitchen. But there's also a bunch of stuff to do for the kids, including a petting zoo and a hay farm. We're not going to do any of that stuff today. But
I think there was a sunflower farm.
yeah, there was a sunflower farm, or at least parts of a sunflower farm.
There's some really
But
tall dead sunflowers.
today we're here for the cider and the donuts. So a couple of things to mention about the cider and donuts here. It is a little bit more expensive than the last place.
They look way better
But
though.
yeah, but this donut, even though it's more than double, is really, really fresh.
Really fresh.
It is warm to the touch. So you want to take your first bite?
Yeah. That is delicious. That is like the
That's
perfect
what it
melt
should be.
in your mouth donut. It's a little crunchy on the outside and melty on the inside and cinnamony,
I have had better,
but that is delicious.
so I'm only going to give this a 4.5.
I'm giving it a 4.5. It's the best donut of this season so far.
Agreed.
And I think these little cups are so cute.
And with the cider, they do have some hybrids.
They do?
So you could get the normal, which is what we got, or a couple of different variants.
Like what? I didn't even see.
They had a couple of different apple types.
Already?
Yeah,
It's early in the year too.
it is.
This is really good too.
It is?
What's the variant? Very Fuji, not
This is-
Fuji apple, Macintosh apple.
Yeah, this is a little bit more bland than what
Yeah.
I like.
It's-
So I'm only going to give this a 3.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
It's a good, solid cider. But it's not as tasty as some of the others that we've
Apples.
tried.
Does it say?
I don't think it does. It's just an apple blend.
What were the other apple blends that they had?
I don't know because I couldn't read it, but they did have the apple. So that's going to do it here. Though she wants to play with the animals a little bit, and then
they have a petting farm.
We have some more cider mills to try yet.
But I think we're going to come back here another day when we can dedicate a day to here because there's like things to climb on.
Yeah,
and
this is one of your like farm amusement parks.
Yes, it's definitely like an afternoon or a couple hour kind of a deal.
Absolutely. So check out all the links in the description below for all of the places that we're visiting today. So next up on our apple cider tour today is Miller's Big Red Orchard, which we don't really have a good idea yet of what's here, but it definitely has more than just the cider mill to explore.
Greenhouses also, apparently. It says so on the sign.
So there's definitely a bunch of items to do here. There's a petting farm, there's the U-pick, all this kind of stuff.
All kinds of selfie options.
Yeah, some selfie options. And some of this is actually free.
Yes.
So kind of a nice little setup. Definitely another one to come back and check out. Unfortunately, they only have a Facebook page. Their web page redirects to the Facebook page, and there's not a lot of information.
Not really. I need to note also, it has nothing to do with Big Red Orchard, but the only problem with cider mill season, cider mill season, is it's also bee season.
Yeah, the yellow jackets and whatnot are out too. Yeah, so it's stinging insect season, and they love having the
sweets.
Apples. Now, one of the other problems here is the only way we can get donuts is by the half dozen. We actually bought it at the wrong market and got a full dozen.
Whole dozen.
We're going to have a lot going in the garbage this time. But let's try our cinnamon donut. Definitely not as fresh.
It's good. I'm still giving it a 4, but not a 4.5.
No, this is only getting a 3 from me.
Maybe a 3.5.
Because it's got a little bit of that, like
cake.
Yeah, it's the Crisco kind of aftertaste, the shortening. That's the word I'm looking for.
I was tasting that just that's why I said cake. Whenever I think of cake, I think of
shortening.
Yeah, that flavor that I don't love. It's funny, as much as I love cider mill donuts, I don't like cake.
No.
Like almost ever.
All right, and now for the cider.
I don't like it at all. It tastes like medicine.
This is the worst of the ciders that I think I've ever had. I hate to say it.
It tastes like medicine.
I wouldn't go that far.
Nope, it has an aftertaste of medicine, like cough syrup.
But yeah, this is getting a 1 from me.
I'm giving it a 1.
I haven't had worse cider from a cider. I've had worse cider mill from the store.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, this is
not good. Either way,
good.
I'd drink this if I was really thirsty because it's a little lighter than cough syrup, but it definitely has that kind of alcohol-y aftertaste.
I was going to say, the one thing that I like about this, it doesn't have that like fuzziness.
No, it doesn't. It's very crisp.
It is very, very clean by comparison, and that might be why we don't like it so much.
Maybe. It really tastes like something that would make a good hard cider.
But overall, I think for the cider and donuts, skip Big Reds. It's not very good. Not compared to the other 2 that we've tried today. And
not the favorite by home.
Yeah, and definitely not up to our regular standards. But
call us donut snobs.
We should have one more at Stony Creek that we're going to try today before we wrap up this cider mill trip. And now for our last stop of the day, we're at the Stony Creek Orchard and Cider Mill. So this is very different. This is a very industrial building for the cider mill, not the barn.
It's supposed to have a lot of antiques inside too.
I'm very anxious to check it out. And it's funny because they call it the sales room, but yet they still have a barn over here pole barn shed kind of thing, to buy the cider and donuts. So
you can also bring your dog here to have him groomed. There's
dog grooming, which is very bizarre.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to check it out, get some cider and donuts, and give it a shot. So one of the nice things here at Stony Creek is they actually do have glasses of cider. You don't have to get the whole quart or whatever. So we get to try it this time first. But look at the donuts. They're so much daintier than the last couple.
I'm pretty sure they're dense, but that's just by touching it. They're
Very dense, yes. Again, not as
these taste like
fresh.
baked.
Yeah,
They don't taste.
they do. Very different taste. I like it though.
There's a spice in here I don't recognize.
I'm only going to give it a 3.5.
I'm gonna give it a 3 because it's actually, you absolutely have to have cider to be able to drink this.
It is way too dense. But speaking of the cider,
Red Delicious. Not a fan. If you like Red Delicious apples, you
I was
probably
going to say, I kind of like it.
Okay. I don't love Red Delicious.
I wouldn't want a whole lot of it.
I mean,
I'm only going to give it a 3, but it is. I think it is one of the better ciders we've had.
Not today.
It probably is comparable quality-wise to Westview, but this has more flavor. Westview's didn't have as much flavor.
Right, Westview's was very, very light. This has a lot of flavor.
Yeah, so I like this one, but not enough that I would drink much of it.
I wouldn't.
This is one I would see putting into the cider donuts.
Yes, absolutely. I would do that.
Yeah.
That would be good to mix or like into something that needs like an apple juice in it. I agree. You know, it would be really good to mix this at, like when you bake a chicken or something like that. Would be really good.
Yeah, exactly. This would be a good one for cooking, I think.
I agree. It has that kind of a flavor.
In quantity, I'm not really that fond of it. So I think the best of the ciders today was our first one.
Yes. Oh, by the way, I'm giving this a 3 and this a 3. Just if I didn't clarify that before, I'm not sure.
So our best cider from both of us, I think, was the Vanelli's at the first
that was the best
stop
cider.
Of the day.
But the best donut
was at Westview, and
by
I
far.
think the best of the locations to visit with the family and have some fun, though it does cost money, is at Westview.
I agree. And I've never been to Washington Township before. So
It's
all
been
of these
a
are
long
in
time.
Washington Township.
Yeah, they're all Washington Township, various cities. Like I think right now we're technically in Romeo, but we were in Washington. So I'm not really sure. We'll have to go and check.
So I mean, I've been here, but I don't really know anything about it.
But all of the websites for all of these places, including that Facebook page for the last one, Big Reds, was on our description over there, so you can check those out. But check out our channel by clicking on the channel button over there to see some of our other videos. But make sure to hit that subscribe and the bell icon so you get notified when we have new videos dropped. And then on this side, we're going to put our junk food in playlist. So if you like these taste test things, we got a lot more of them over there.